Hello everyone and welcome to my birthday haul repot. This year as a birthday gift, Isa decided to give me a bunch of succulents. And right now we're gonna repot them. So I got my mixture by my right side. It's just some plant soil mixed with some sand. I don't use a lot of sand for these. We're gonna start with Huernia pendurata. Is this one? She looks beautiful. And her roots aren't in a too bad of a shape. It doesn't matter that much because we're still in the growing season, and even if the roots die, I think she can develop a new root system before the lower temperatures come. I use the paper to put on the bottom of the pot. This is just so the sand and the soil don't all fall out. I prefer to underpot succulents, especially when it comes to members of the Stapelia family. I think they just grow much better in a small pot, and I could probably get away with this one. But honestly, this is just setting me up for the repot in a couple of months, so I'm gonna go one bigger. Hopefully, I won't regret this decision. One thing all plants have in similar is when you're repotting, you all wish there was an intermediate size pot. You never have the right size pot. This one took a long time, it was almost 2 minutes. There we go. Huernia pendurata is done. And the next one is Huernia nova Mccoy. Same problem as the previous one. I could probably get away with this pot, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm going for the bigger one. I tap the pot just to settle in the soil, but I avoid compacting it too much. I find that succulents love to have as loose of a soil as possible. There you go. Huernia nova Mccoy is in her new home. Okay. Next we have Anacampseros rufescens variegata, which is this one. I was kind of disappointed with the shipping on this one because they sent her bare rooted and they should have put her in a pot. Anacampseros have sensitive roots. They're not like Stapelias that just regrow their roots without any problem. These are more sensitive and they have less reserves for nutrients, so it's not ideal for them to come unpotted. Especially because she was potted. I mean, you just removed it out of the pot and just plopped it in the paper. Yeah. So it just makes it much harder to repot, and it's far from ideal for the plant. So and against my better judgment, I'm gonna use a bigger pot just because this is really hard to pot in such a small pot. So what I'm probably going to do with this one is pot it into something bigger, give it a few months so she can repair and grow good roots, and then I'm gonna underpot it into a smaller pot so she can grow tighter. But right now, with how little roots she has and the fact that she's dividing, it's gonna be impossible to. Oh no, it's impossible other way. Yeah. Okay, new plan. I'm gonna divide the plant completely and then just pot each little plantlet. Interesting, they put some slow release fertilizer on this one. I hope the Anacampseros survives because she has such beautiful colors. If you're a succulent grower, this is a very hard repot. And another one done. Ended up looking not bad. Now we have the Gasteria armstrongii. Another bare-rooted one, and some of the roots don't look so good. I'm sure I'm gonna lose a bunch of roots. Maybe the thicker ones will be able to survive and branch out, but anything that's thinner, it's not gonna make it. Fortunately, there's a bunch of new growths that haven't rooted yet, so I'm counting on them to sustain the plant. Fortunately, she's in no urgency for nutrients. As you can see, it's a very well-fed plant. I'm taking my time today. Okay, and Gasteria armstrongii is done. Our next plant is the Adromischus cristatus zeyheri. Zeyheri?
It'll be on screen.
But I still have to try and butcher it. This one is beautiful. I keep touching the leaves because they have a really pleasant texture. Yes, this one I could definitely underpot. Now comes another one I'm really excited about, the Albuca humilis. I've been wanting one for a long time. And they sent us 2 plants, which is nice because they don't always do super well. Oh, don't think you can see it on the camera, but this one is developing new growth right here. Good sign. I don't know much about these plants. It's the first Albuca I have, so hopefully they'll do well and I won't kill them. There we go. Another one done, and hopefully she'll do well. Next one is a cactus. We have this wonderful thing, a Tephrocactus articulatus papyracanthus. And the spines are really papery. They look beautiful. These are fairly big and very well fed, so I'm not gonna worry too much. I wonder though if these growths were taken from this one before shipping. I don't know, maybe. Ah, this is so cool. I just feel like touching the spines. I guess that's where the papyracanthus part of the name comes from. That they look like paper. I believe that every cactus grower understands what it means to look at one's finger and then slowly and cautiously taking it up to your mouth. It's the international symbol for found a spine. Now, here's the thing. It's my first time with this plant. Never had one. And these have no roots whatsoever, and this one has a root system. So this might, I don't know, I might separate them actually, put them into 2 pots. Because hopefully this bigger one will accept water much quicker than the tiny ones. And especially cactus, they should not be left sitting in water when they don't have roots. It's a key to recipe for disaster. So here's one. This is the big guy. It's beautiful. Really healthy looking growths. And these two are going into their own separate pots. With growths like this, I avoid burying them too much. I'll just lay them down on top as softly as I can, and then I will use some sticks to prop them up and keep them in place. Next we have the Stapelia lutea. I don't know how well this is coming across on camera, but it has a beautiful color. Next we have the Stapelia leendertziae. And unfortunately this one came with a broken tip. But otherwise the plant looks healthy, the new growths are developing well, and she has a lovely texture. It's like this fuzzy, very soft texture to it. Fortunately this is another one I won't be able to pot in a small pot. I have to go bigger, just because of the depth. Because I like to leave the new growths just barely touching the soil. I find that helps them develop roots fast and helps to fixate the plant. Here you go. I'm gonna leave the broken tip to heal completely over and scar, then I'll cut it off. Not enjoying this. There's a black spot right here. I hope this isn't an infection. This is just some dirt that got into it during transport. And I don't like that one. In fact, I'm gonna carefully cut it off. Now I'm gonna keep an eye on it. And of course, behaving as a child, I left the two plants I'm most excited about for the end. Yeah, but which to pick? Okay, I'm going for this one. This is an Epiphyllum, and unfortunately, it broke during transport. See, this tip was here. This is something that baffles me because the box was too small and they just decided to bend the plant, and of course that broke the growth. So this one, I'm gonna cut this little excess off. Let's try it at this point. Nothing we can do here. And I'm gonna do the same here. Oh no, actually here it's done. So I'm gonna put this one up. And then I'm gonna let this callus over for a day or two just to make sure. Then I'm gonna pop it into dirt. These are hardy plants. They should survive without much issue. Epiphyllum is done. It's another one that needs a stake to prop it up. This growth, just gonna leave it here. A stick magically appeared. Then it fell.
Does it work?
I think so, I think it should. No, like a child, I left the one I'm more excited about for the end, the Stapelia grandiflora. It's in a really good condition. I don't think these roots are gonna fare great, because most of them are desiccated, but it's a Stapelia, so it doesn't really matter. It'll grow roots very fast. Temperatures here are still very warm, so this plant will recover in no time. I don't know if she'll be able to pull out a new growth before the cold comes in, but I wouldn't be terribly surprised if she did. Grandifloras have beautiful flowers and they're really big. They're a very deep, dark burgundy color. And although the growths are big, the stems, they're not huge. Gigantea, for example, has really big flowers, but the stems are also huge. That was my birthday haul, and all of the repots are done. I'm not going to water them today. Tomorrow I'll put a little bit of water on each one, just to moisten up the dirt and so they can start drinking if they want to.
We decided to update you after only a month, because unfortunately a lot has happened to the Stapeliads.
The Stapelia leendertziae was the first one to show symptoms and the most affected one. As you can see, it had tip die-off and the growths were soft with some rotting at the base. Eventually, all of them showed the same symptoms. The process to try and recover the plants was the same for all of them. they all got unpotted, the healthy growths were separated from the main plant, and any rotting parts were cut away from the plant, and everything was allowed to scar over and callus for a few days. When it was time to repot, the ones that looked worse were either thrown out or planted separately, in a last chance bowl, and only the really healthy ones went into pots.
Unfortunately, even the growths that were separated cleanly and scarred over would eventually succumb. This makes us think that what affected the plants is either a virus or a bacterial infection.
Despite all of our efforts, the plants continued deteriorating. The epiphyllum was affected by the same thing. The main growth started dying, and I had to pot all the growths I could save separately. The other plants are doing fine. The Adromischus has recovered and the leaves plumped a little. The growths on the Gasteria are developing well. The Albuca's growths are developing well, and one of them already has new leaves. The main bulb lost some of the tips on the older leaves, but this is to be expected. One of the divisions of the cactus has started rooting and the spines are looking better. All of the divisions of the Anacampseros seem to have survived and are growing well. The loss of color is just due to the fact that we've been keeping it away from the light during the recovery process.
In the end, we got a refund for the affected plants. But it's always heartbreaking to watch plants that you wanted really bad just wither away while you try to save them.
If it was just one plant, it could have been bad luck. But since it happened to several of them, something was definitely wrong with this batch of plants.
We're planning on doing another update in a few months, and hopefully we'll still have something to show from our Stapeliads.
If you don't want to miss the next update, be sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you enjoyed our video, like and leave us a comment.
Goodbye.